For those of you who have been following my teaching about Karuppasamy, I want to give you some additional information, perhaps a recap on Karuppasamy himself. He is a God who has been acknowledged as a performer. It's very interesting that I came across a book a few days ago, a very small book. If you want to know about Karuppasamy, this is the size of the book. I haven't read it. It will take a few years for anyone to read, at least for me. This contains everything about this God who has been around for a long time, but is currently emerging. This is a phenomenon. He has been often considered historically as a village god. So people who are educated and they don't want to bother to go and worship him. He doesn't even have a temple, a decent temple. He often has a statue and a horse to represent him in statues. And villagers go and then pray to him. But there are accounts by villagers, even today, that they are able to see him in the night, guarding their house, guarding their paddy fields and their cattle and so forth. And this is very common in Indian villages. I accidentally came across this God when I was driving. I think I have mentioned this before. I saw one such temple on the roadside and he drew my attention and I stopped the car. And then, to make a long story short, I happened to be in a session when the priest was channeling Karuppasamy, and he was healing people like Jesus would heal, like making the dumb to speak and deaf people to hear and solving problems like this instantaneously. And then I got curious about this God, and there are hundreds and thousands of temples for him in villages. So I began to experiment with him, and then I found that he was a performing God, because I have always been looking for results. In my experiments, I found that he was really performing. That's how I have had a guy to go get trained, and he was giving the reading, and people have had miracles. And now he has gone on further training, so he won't be available. My own intention about Karuppasamy is to give to the world even an understanding of what this new phenomenon of this God represent. He is not just unique to the southern India, particularly to Tamil Nadu. He is an archetype. I would call him a bodhisattva. Yes, a bodhisattva is an enlightened person who was once a human being and became enlightened, but wouldn't want to leave the earth plane and remain in another form to help people. And until all the people are helped out, he is not going to go to heaven. That's the kind of dedication the bodhisattvas within the Buddhist tradition represent. So he is, Karuppasamy is one of the bodhisattvas with tremendous amount of power, who knows the human problems, and he's here out there to help people to solve the problems. And he's a righteous God. He is intolerant towards injustice, towards diseases and things like that, and he insists on results and delivers. Now, the reader is being on more training. It turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because now we could serve more people and introduce them to Karuppasamy. And all that you need is develop a personal interest in Karuppasamy. So, what does that mean? That means, you just pray to him at a certain time, like 8:20 p.m. and then you can give any offering that you can, and if you, or whatever you like, you can offer him, and then with the incense and fruits, and then put your prayer. This is the minimum you can do. And then you have to do it every day, and then be sincere, and then in your approach to him, and your request to him, and then say, this is it, and I need divine guidance, because I have done everything on a human level, and beyond that I cannot do, and I need divine intervention, and then he will come and intervene you in your affairs and get things done to you. So you make a personal relationship with Karuppasamy. And then you can do it, you can download a picture of Karuppasamy, a statue that is in our ashram, and then use it. And there's a story about the statue here is very, very special. There was somebody who was trying to exploit me in making the statue, and Karuppasamy made sure that he doesn't collect even a penny from me. And then, I had to, after a few months, go and find a sculptor and pay. It's a long story, you don't have to know about that. But it's a very powerful story. It's a statue, so you have to keep the picture. And those of you who want to do more than doing your own worship can have services performed to him through the statue that I have commissioned to do, and which we are using it here. Prayers will be done on your behalf, and that's one thing. And then there are hundreds of Karuppasamy temples, and I have been, I showed you the book. I've been researching the most powerful Karuppasamy temples, where we can do remedies for you. So that also will be available to you. So the most important thing is to understand Karuppasamy as someone who is an universal archetype. I've been myself thinking about him, and he is someone like Eliyahu in the Jewish tradition, and or Saint George in the Christian tradition, or in China it's Quan Dai, in South America he's Quetzalcoatl. So names are different, but then they have all one thing in common: they deliver. They deliver, and they deliver because they are close to the earth plane, and then they are concerned about the problems of people, whether lack of money or lack of relationship or diseases or litigations and so forth, and then Karuppasamy runs to solve the problem. So take advantage of this service. Although there is no reader available, it doesn't really mean much. You can directly talk to him and do the service yourself, or you can do it through the ashram, and also perform rituals in many of the hundreds and thousands of temples here.